Hi everyone, welcome to the Celebrity Diaries. Bernard Jeffrey McCullough, better realized by a phase name Bernie Mac, was an American comic screenwriter, maker, and entertainer. Brought up on Chicago's South Side, he acquired fame as a professional comic. He joined individual humorist Steve Harvey, Cedric the Performer, and D.L. Hughley in the film The First Lords of Parody. After momentarily facilitating the HBO show 12 p.m. Mac, he showed up in a few movies and more modest jobs. His most noted film jobs were as Straightforward Catton in the 2001 Change of Seas 11 and as the title character of Mr. 3000. He was the star of his eponymous show, which ran from 2001 through 2006, procuring him 2 Emmy Grant selections for Exceptional Driving Entertainer in a satire series. Bernie Mac had an expected total assets of $10 million at the hour of his passing. Bernard Jeffrey McCullough was brought into the world on October 5, 1957, in Chicago, Illinois. He was the second offspring of Mary McCullough and Jeffrey Harrison. He was raised by his single parents and his grandparents on the city's South Side. Bernie Mac started his secondary school profession at Chicago Professional Secondary School. His mom passed away in 1973 when he was 16 years old. In practically no time thereafter, his more seasoned sibling and his alienated dad both kicked the bucket. He later moved on from Chicago Professional Secondary School in 1975. During his 20s and through his mid-30s, Bernie Mac worked in an assortment of occupations, including janitor, mentor, and proficient mover, cook, transport driver, miracle bread, conveyance, a furniture mover, and UPS specialist. While doing satire on the ends of the week at clubs and gatherings, he was 6 feet 2 inches tall, or 1.89 meters tall, about Bernie Mac's own life. On September 17, 1977, Bernie Mac married his secondary school darling Rhonda Butchery, and together they had a little girl named Janice McCullough, who was brought into the world in 1978. Bernie Mac had a background marked by medical issues before he opened up to the world about his well-being battles. The principal happened in the late spring of 2004 when he was recording both Seas 12 and Thinking About Who, while likewise advancing Mr. 3000 was set to film the rest of Season 4 of The Bernie Mac Show in October of that year. Yet because of contracting smelling salts in the 2 lungs and experiencing weariness, Fox stopped creation for a long time so he could recuperate in the last 4 years of his life. Bernie Mac freely unveiled that he had sarcoidosis, a sickness of unknown beginning that causes irritation and tissue sarcoidosis. Much of the time went after his lungs. On July 19, 2008, he was owned up to the Northwestern Remembrance Medical Clinic in his old neighborhood of Chicago. In the wake of being treated in the ICU for quite a long time, he went through heart failure and thusly passed on during the early morning hours on August 9 at 50 years old. The entanglements were not credited to sarcoidosis, as per his marketing specialist. Bernie Mac's public commemoration was held 7 days after his demise at the Place of Trust Church, with almost 70 individuals in attendance. Prominent grievers at his burial service were Chris Rock, Chicago City Hall leader, and Richard M. Daley, Samuel L. Jackson, Ashton Kutcher, Ware Cheadle, the cast individuals from The Bernie Mac Show, and his rulers of parody colleagues D.L. Hughley, Cedric the Performer, and Steve Harvey talk about Bernie Mac's expert vocation. Bernie Mac's persuasions were from the 3 numbskulls and paying attention to professional comics. Richard Pryor and Red Fox began as a professional comic in Chicago's Cotton Club after he won the Mill Operator Light Satire Search at 32 years old. His ubiquity as a joke artist started to develop our exhibition on HBO's Hard of Hearing Parody Jam, which pushed him into the spotlight after Martin Lawrence couldn't call an undeniably unfriendly group. Bernie Mac went in front of an audience and said, "I ain't frightened of you telling the crowd he didn't come here for no silliness." He opened for Dionne Warwick, Red Fox, and Natalie Cole. He assumed a little part in 1994's Local Party 3 as Uncle Vester. He likewise had a brief syndicated program on HBO named 12 p.m. Later, he additionally acted in minor roles, playing Mr. Johnson, the straightforward proprietor of a barbecue and coffee shop in the film Baps, and Minister Sharp in Ice Shape's 1995 vehicle. Friday, following that job, he was decided to play the lead spot in the 1995 Apollo restoration of The Wiz. Bernie Mac had his initially featured job as Dollar Note, a senseless, smooth-talking club proprietor in 1998's The Players Club. He had the option to part from the conventional dark parody classification playing parts in the 2001 redo of Seas 11 and turn into the new Bosley for the Charlie's Heavenly Messengers continuation. Charlie's Heavenly Messengers Max Speed. In 2001, the Fox network gave him his own TV sitcom called The Bernie McShow, depicting an imaginary rendition of himself. The show was not restored after the 2005-2006 season. The series finale circulated on April 14, 2006, among different honors. The show won an Emmy for remarkable composition, the Peabody Grant for Greatness in Communicating, and the Humanities Prize for TV Composing that advances human respect for his personality on The Bernie McShow was position number 47 in the Television Guide's rundown of the 50 biggest television fathers ever. During his run on the show, Bernie Mac had co-featuring jobs in Terrible Saint Nick Pride and Head of State, as well as featuring jobs in the baseball-themed film Mr. 3000 and Think About Who, a revamp of the film Think About Who's Coming to Supper on Walk 19 2007. He told David Letterman on the CBS Late Show that he would resign from his 30-year vocation after he wrapped up shooting the satire film Every Bit of Relevant. Information-only reality, so help me Mac, I am actually going to do my delivering of my movies, yet I need to partake in my life a tad. Bernie told Letterman, I missed a ton of things. You realize I was a road entertainer for quite a long time. I went into clubs in 1977 and was out and about 47 weeks out of the year. During this time, Bernie Mac was having accomplishments as a well-known film entertainer, beginning with an appearance in the 2007 film Transformers as the vehicle sales rep Bobby Bolivia, and filling in as the voice of Zuba. Alex the Lion's tragically missing dad in Madagascar Disappeared to Africa. He co-starred with Samuel L. Jackson in the 2008 melodic parody Soul Men. These last two motion pictures were delivered a long time after his demise. His last film job was as Jimmy Lunchbox in the 2009 film Old Canines, which was delivered a year after his passing. About Bernie Mac's heritage and recognitions, the initial two of Bernie Mac's post-mortem films Soul Men and Madagascar Departure to Africa were delivered 3 months after his demise, and were devoted to him. His third post-mortem, delivered in conclusive film Old Canines, was delivered a year after his passing. Upon the arrival of Bernie Mac's memorial service, his old neighborhood's nearby TV slot UCFV circulated a selective TV, unique a recognition for Bernie Mac, and had interviews with his previous partners including Camille Winbush, Chris Rock Joe, Tori Cameron Diaz Werecattle, and a portion of his relatives and dear companions during Steve Harvey's TV program, which broadcast on November 14, 2016, read a decree from Chicago City Hall leader Rahm Emanuel declaring November 14 this Bernie Mac Day. Steve Harvey's visitors included Bernie Mac's significant other, Rhonda, their girl Janice's granddaughter, Jasmine, and Bernie's First Lords of Parody co-stars, Dale Hughley, Cedric, the performer proprietor, and fellow Tory, who is the first host toward the start of the visit. Mike Epps seems to be appearing through satellite alongside the head of Bernie and Rhonda's place of graduation. The Chicago Professional Secondary Everyday Schedule uncovered and divulged the renaming of CVS Hall to the Bernie Mac Assembly Room on February 14, 2017. Drifter named Bernie Mac number 41 of the 50 best professional comedians ever. May you keep on finding happiness in the hereafter. You might have gone, yet you won't ever fail to remember goodness. Thanks for watching this video.